Hello artists, Miss Walker here. Today I'm excited to show you a lesson about Memento Mori. As you watch this video and take notes, by the end you will be able to understand what the phrase Memento Mori means and analyze works of art to identify the symbols that artists use to represent Memento Mori in their artworks. Today we're going to look at two paintings, one of an old master and one of a contemporary artist. And we're going to study how both of these use this idea of Memento Mori in their artwork. First, you might be wondering, what is Memento Mori? Memento Mori comes from the Latin phrase meaning, remember you must die. Now, this might sound a bit morbid, but we as humans, we know that death is inevitable. And it's something that unites us all, and it's a reminder for us to live our life to the fullest. Many artists have explored this idea of their art throughout history in so many ways, and there are many visual symbols to represent this idea. Let's begin by studying this painting by Caravaggio. Caravaggio was a painter in Italy during the 16th and 17th century. So let's study Caravaggio's painting, Still Life with a Basket of Fruit. What do you see in this image? We're going to take a pause and we're going to think about what we see in this image. Many of you are probably thinking fruit. That is a correct answer. This is a still life of a painting of fruit. But if you look closer, what do you notice about the fruit? Does it look fresh? Not really. It appears to be beginning to rot. And as we all know, over time, fruit does begin to decay. So this painting by Caravaggio is a great example of how an artist uses fruit as a visual symbol to represent time passing. This idea of time passing comes up all the time in referencing Memento Mori. You know, as time passes, we grow older, and it reminds us that time is fleeting. Now, the second painting we're going to observe is one by Audrey Flack. Audrey Flack is a contemporary artist, which means she's alive today, she's current. And much like Caravaggio, she paints in a realistic style, and she also paints still lifes. So today we're gonna look at Audrey Flack's painting titled Marilyn. I want you all to take a moment and look at this painting. And let's pause and let's identify some of the objects you see in her painting, Marilyn. So, one thing you might notice, just like Caravaggio, Audrey Flack is painting fruit. She's painting different fruits. You'll see a pear, you'll see oranges, there's grapes up here, there's a peach. And this is a great example of how she, just like Caravaggio, represents time. And now there are some actual literal symbols of time. We see a clock. Over here, we see an hourglass. And we also, up in the corner here, we even see a calendar. So these are actually very literal symbols of time passing. So they're examples of ways we can tell time. Now you'll also see some old photographs, black and white photographs. Here's Marilyn Monroe. And also notice the flower. The flower, much like the fruit, also represents time passing. The candle is a great example. It melts and it shows time passing as its different states. But one thing I find very interesting about this painting is this paintbrush. Let's just take a moment to look at this paintbrush. What is different about this paintbrush as in the other objects in the painting? So as you can tell, the paintbrush appears to be frozen in time. There's a drop of paint, it's dripping. It represents time almost standing still, which is a very interesting element to this painting. So I want you all to think a lot about this idea of Memento Mori. And as you view art, I want you to apply what you've learned today as a way to look closer at art. I encourage you to think about what symbols you see in art and paintings and to dig deeper. And I want you to think about the things you see and what they represent.